Hello ladies and gentlemen, Raider here, and I have a new Let's Talk video, obviously if you clicked on it, and we're going to be talking about an article I came across here from CBR.com, talking about the new Transformers Cyberworld series coming out. Something about the article rubbed me the wrong way. I'll probably read through the whole thing, then give my input, or I'll give my input section by section. We'll see how it flows. But, the main thing about this article I notice when I read through it, I'm not seeing any of the information like sourced that they're mentioning. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get into it here. Here, let's go ahead and start reading it. Let's see. Ever since it debuted in 1984, the Transformers franchise has been a multimedia brand that thrived in multiple places at once. Thus, the release of cartoons, comic books, movies, and video games always corresponding with accompanying action figures. Hold on, I have a cat who is trying to chew my electronics right behind the screen here. I think you know her. Her name is Sisu. My daughter's little hellion. Hi, Sisu. Are you going to join us? Or are you just going to sit there and play nice? Okay, you gave me a slow blink, so I think we're okay. Let's see. With these being some of the main ways in which the property has stayed alive. Unfortunately, one upcoming new take on the robots in disguise is continuing what's proving to be a failed attempt at gaining younger fans. The Transformers Cyberworld toy line and animated series are the next legs of the franchise, with these meant to appeal to kids in particular. Sadly, the quality and nature of both have already seemed to be fairly lacking, especially given how things were for the brand 1 or 2 decades ago. If anything, things are being done this way it's late at night. I actually shouldn't be doing this video right now. I am tired, but I just want to get this off my chest because I saw this a week or so ago, and I wanted to post a video then, and then I actually forgot about it. Especially given how things were for the brand 1 or 2 decades ago. If anything, things being done this way are only driving Transformers further into nostalgic irrelevance. Transformers Cyberworld is reaching too young with its target audience. See, that right there bothers me because how young are they thinking they're going? I mean, these toys, we got some articulation on here, and I mean, it's making kids use their hands to transform them. Yeah, it's simple transformation. A lot of the figures don't have like extensive articulation in themselves, but what we got? So the most recent would be Transformers Rescue Bots. Those figures don't have a lot of articulation, but my daughter loved them. My daughter liked them, and she's 7 years old now. And you know, it's kind of what got her interested in Transformers, and her dad collecting Transformers. But, I mean, okay, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. The first full look at Transformers Cyberworld has just been revealed by Hasbro, and it's clear that the toy line and animated series are made almost entirely with very young kids in mind. Is there media out right now of the series? I know we've seen the toys, but I haven't seen anything for the series. I haven't seen anything at all. The quality and nature of the upcoming toys have already been compared to cheap action figures from McDonald's or similar toy lines meant for incredibly young fans, and they're almost at the preschool level. It comes off as an attempt to gain the next generation of Transformer fans, which is more than worthy pursuit for the brand by way of Hasbro. Unfortunately, it's not quite being done in the right way, as it's hard to see these toys enticing little ones over streaming content on tablets and electronics. Even kids might be able to see the fairly cheap nature of these collectibles, making them appeal only to the smallest youngsters. There is complete lack of articulation in these toys, which doesn't exactly work for the main figures in the series for younger fans. Okay, so, hey Sisu, come on. Come on. Yeah, I know, you don't like it when I talk to myself, which I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to a mic. Anyway, say hi. Hi. And bye. So, first off, cheap action figures from McDonald's or similar toy line. Okay, first of all, have you seen the Happy Meal toys lately at McDonald's? For crying out loud, they're giving away posters as Happy Meal toys. Posters. Come on. That's another subject someday. But it's Transformers appealed to only the smallest youngsters. So right off the bat, I saw someone having a little fit with Cyberworld on X, and pretty much my mindset is that, sorry, get my hand out of the way there. Hi, you can't see me. It's that, so I was born in 1985. I learned of Transformers thanks to my brother, who was born 8 years before me. And I inherited his toys, and he recorded Transformers on the original cartoon on Betamax and VCR tapes. That's how I learned of Transformers. That's how I was introduced. And a lot of people that were born before 84 know of Transformers. Now, that was our introduction, was the Generation 1 toys. And even for me, when I was young, I didn't have the hand strength to transform a lot of those Generation 1 figures. I actually didn't get to fully transform any of them until I got older and got more strength. But that's how I was introduced. And that's the thing. Each generation is going to have their own introduction to Transformers. They're always going to have their own introduction because, like when Power Rangers came out in 1994, all right, the first season of Power Rangers, none of us who were kids knew that it was a show from Japan. I think it was called a Toketsu or a Super Sentai. And we didn't know that. We got hooked on it. Freaking Power Rangers blew up here in the US. But the fact is, we didn't know that there was a long line of shows prior to it in Japan. But we didn't care. That was new to us. That's what hooked us. And that's how I see Transformer media now. Like, my daughter's first Transformer series that she's actually hooked on is Earthspark. And, I mean, there's been Transformer media now for the last several decades. And each generation has a chance to watch that and get hooked on Transformers via that way. I mean, or even the comic books. They read the comics. I mean, there's new Transformer fans being made every day. Like, I saw on X, someone was asking, what got you hooked on Transformers? And someone said, flat out, Transformers 1 got me hooked. Transformers 1 just came out. So there you go. New Transformer fans are being made every day. And the fact that Hasbro's making a series for the younger generation, I'm okay with. Sorry, I'm ranting. Let's read a little more. Transformers Studio Series and Transformers Age of the Primes are the most collector-oriented figures. But it's not as if the majority of these are so articulated and complex that they would ward kids off. If anything, they'll end up being far more compelling to kids than the Transformers Cyberworld options, which look as if they're be easy to outgrow. The animated series will be composed of 36 episodes in total, with these being only 5 minutes in length. Honestly, well, first off, Transformer toys, the Studio Series and the Primes, they have the suggested age range of, 5 and up, I think? I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. And yes, there are kids that can get into those, but then you have 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and you have them just turning 5, 6. They're going to want something easier to play with and to make their imagination grow, to want to play with Transformers. And I think that's great because I'm going to say it right now. Hasbro's done this before. They've made, they're doing Cyberworld now. They made Rescue Bots. They made GoBots, not the original 1980s. No, there was a GoBot line made by Hasbro, which I think they did with Play School or something like that. I can't remember, but those were toddler-oriented Transformers. And there was like 123 Robot or something. I can't remember the name. I saw it on Wiki. I'll put all the information stuff I'm listing and all the series and all that down in the description. So go take a look. But this isn't Hasbro's first rodeo of making like little kid-oriented stuff. Let's see. Now, for it, the episodes being 5 minutes long, kids don't have a great attention span. All right, I have a daughter. They don't have a great attention span. That's just how it is. If you notice, a lot of shows today for kids, toddlers, they're broken into segments. And, you know, with them only being 5 minutes in length, that works. Also, with it streaming, that works too, because I hate to tell you this, everything's streaming nowadays. It being on YouTube, there you go. There's a streaming source, sorry. And, I mean, my daughter watches YouTube on her TV. So I don't see that being a problem. And you know what? Doing 36 episodes, 5 minutes each, that actually is probably saving Hasbro some money. And it's also, you know, making it so people want to get the toys. The kids want to get the toys. That's another thing. So back in the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, the toys is actually what encouraged the cartoons being made. They make the toys, and then they need something to help sell the toys, which was the cartoons. The cartoons is what sold the toys. And a lot of people didn't understand that too when the original 1980s Transformer movie came out. The whole point of that movie, and if you listen to the commentary, they flat out say that the point of the movie was to kill the prior toy line to make way for the new toy line. That was the whole point of that. And trust me, they did not expect the reaction when Optimus Prime's death happened. They were in the theater. They heard children crying. They heard adults crying when they were doing that, when they aired that movie in theaters. So, another story, another time. I'm sidetracking myself again. Sorry. Let's see. It's an obvious attempt to grab the audience that's being fed on a strict diet of skidabd toilet, but even this might be short-sighted. Long-form storytelling and shows can still be major hits among young viewers, as shown by the success of various anime. This actually bolsters the argument that Takara Tomy, which handles Transformers in Japan, needs to take control of the brand in general, namely by having a major Transformers anime produced. Sadly, something of this nature has been done, or hasn't been the norm for the franchise in over a decade, which is true. The last one was like Go Transformers or something, and that was really only marketed and sold in Japan. And it didn't make it here in the US. Didn't make it out this way, but I mean, we got other ones. We got Armada and the Unicron trilogy. We got those. They were actually made at the same time for all the different countries. They just aired at different times. If you go to Transformer Wiki, you read that and you find out that's what happened. And so for me, if you're marketing it towards younger kids, which the toys are being marketed towards younger kids, and so is the show. I haven't seen anything on the show, but judging from how the toys look, you know, you can put 2 and 2 together and get 4. It's for a younger generation. Now, Transformers in an anime style does work. That's what kept the Transformer brand alive when we sold the rights to Japan back when the 1986 series ended, not 1986, 1984 series and stopped here in America. And they kept it going, and they kept it going, and they kept it going. Now, of course, America tried to rehash it by taking the same animation, the original Transformers Gen 1 cartoon, and adding like little CGI scene transitions and targeting screens and all that, and that failed. I mean, to me, it failed. I mean, it didn't even make it a whole season. I think they only did, the first 3 episodes, more than meets the eye. But then they came out with Beast Wars. And that's the thing. Hasbro tested these. They took a little block of time, because this is what they used to do back in the 90s. They would take a little block of time and they would use it to see how new shows would perform. And they did that with a bunch of different things. They did it with Cyborgs. It was a CGI series. They did it with Defenders of Dytron City, Crash Test Dummies. I could go on. I can just go on. Battletoads. And that's what they did. Hasbro took those chunks and they tried to see how they do. Obviously, rehashing the G1 Transformers failed. They didn't continue it. But then they got Beast Wars. And I remember watching the hour-long Beast War, the two half-hour episodes that aired that Saturday. I actually have them on tape somewhere. I recorded them. And then a year later, after they saw how it performed, boom, we had Beast Wars. And it helped reintroduce it to the U.S. public. And that's what helped get it re-anchored into the U.S. to be sold here. Because after G1, the only thing that really helped keep it going here in the U.S. in the 80s and 90s were the comics. So, I think I got off track with what I was going with. Shoot. Bottom line, it would be great for another Transformers anime. Is it going to happen? Who knows? But the thing is, we've had more adult-oriented or older kid-oriented media come out, like the 3 series on Netflix. I already know those are kind of adult-oriented by the fact that we're killing some okay, PG-13, there we go. PG-13 because they're killing characters. I know they're killing characters. I haven't watched it, but this day and age, you can't avoid spoilers. It can't be helped. Okay, let's keep going here. I'm making this a longer video than I should have. Alright, what we got? Transformers Prime was the end of an era for the franchise. Isn't any of the animation kind of like an end of an era? First airing in 2010 and airing on the TV network The Hub, Transformers Prime was an acclaimed animated series that acted as something of a watershed moment for the brand. That means, if a lot of people don't know what that means, a watershed moment, it means like the turning point is what it means. One of the many desperate manifestations of the Animorphs align continuity. Wait, okay, hold on. Let me read again here. First airing, Transformers Prime was an acclaimed animated series that acted as something of a watershed moment. One of the many desperate manifestations of the amorphous align continuity. Okay, got it. Thank you. Sorry. Don't know why that was hard for me to read. Transformers Prime combined elements and characters from Generation 1, the live-action Transformers movies, and the preceding cartoon continuity in Transformers Animated. The show was fairly serious, and while it had its more comical moments, it was a lot darker than many cartoons in the West, including Transformers. Transformers Animated was dark a couple times because we had characters disappeared. There was characters that died in Transformers Animated. And, I mean, yeah, it was definitely made for an older generation. It was definitely PG-13. I mean, the first episode, we had a death on the good side. I'm not naming names. I don't give spoilers. I try hard not to. So anyone that hasn't seen Prime, that's for you guys. I'm not trying to ruin it for you. But this tone and the way in which the lore was treated saw the series lauded by fans and critics, and this wasn't the only popular part of this incarnation. The Transformers Prime toy line was the main set of action figures in the franchise at the time. Besides the Transformers Generation figures, the predecessors to the current Transformers Legacy and Transformers Age of the Prime toys. While they were meant for kids and adults, they weren't dubbed down. No, they weren't. If you get even to me nowadays, if you get a first edition Bumblebee Prime, any of from the Prime series, they are a pain to transform. They're fun. They're just a pain until you get the hang of it. That's standard for any Transformer. And I lost my place. Represent character design show. Okay. They weren't dubbed down. Representatives of the characters' designs on the shows and challenging to young and old fans alike. This line had several beloved figures. Sadly, this method of figures for the franchise ended with this series. It kind of has to. All right, there's only one right off the top of my head I can think of. One Transformer line that did not have media that went with it. That was Transformers Machine Wars. That was a KB Toys exclusive toy line. So I guess anytime a series ends or a movie, it's time that's period for that market of toy line to be done. I mean, you're going to try your new ideas, you're going to try your new gimmicks, you're going to see how the characters sell, what characters sold, what people liked, and then they'll start doing what like they're doing with the Legacy line. The Legacy line actually brought back a lot of G1 figures. Not G1 figure, G1 characters that never had their own specific figure, their own mold. Sorry, it's weird to me because, yes, they reuse the same names and everything from the original series. Well, I hate to tell you this. Why not use a name that you're going to use a name you have copywritten for your company? Why not use the name if you're paying for the copyright on it? And I think he mentioned something about that, how the nostalgic and the characters and all that. Let's keep reading. Transformers Prime was followed by the 2015 version of Transformers Robots in Disguise, which notably had a more lighthearted tone and cartoonish design. Despite being a direct sequel, the toys for the series were definitely a step down in complexity, even if this was still the main series of figures. Since then, the figures for animated shows such as Transformers Cyberverse, Transformers Earthspark have done the same, and the results aren't exactly pretty. These toys seemingly don't appeal even to the younger fans they're meant to court, as shown by the low sales of many of these figures. Okay. There's no source for that right there. I looked on Google, I Googled it, and the only time Hasbro has ever mentioned a loss in profit from Transformers is when they upped the prices a couple years ago. That's the only mention I could find. That was on Cybertron.com, and I'll link that down below too. It's overall night and day compared to where the brand was during the days of Transformers Prime, or even a decade beforehand with the release of the toys for the Unicron Trilogy anime. The Unicron Trilogy anime toys in general, those were more of a G1 style, and it worked. And that worked for younger fans because G1 style toys are actually easier to learn and get a whole... Oh, no. You see that? Hey, get down. Sorry, guys. I have to use a buzzer. If you hear a loud squeaking noise, get down. Get down. This is talking to you. It's on. Get down. I literally just put those all back up the other day. She knocked everything down. I actually have some figures that aren't even back up there yet. Get down. All right, if you're saying like that, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Okay. While the Transformers Armada line was criticized for how simplistic and she actually made me hurt my chest. My chest hurts now because I kind of winded myself. It could be many of those figures were variable high-end machines compared to what's being sold to kids today. It ends up being a self-fulfilling prophecy, with Hasbro's attempt to increase engagement with kids backfiring due to low quality these products are, with nothing worthwhile to collect or play with. I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. It's unsurprising that the next generation is uninterested in Transformers collectibles. Okay. So when they went to robots in disguise, that's when we started getting, at least in my opinion, this is my opinion, I don't have a fact on this, but when they went to 2015 robots in disguise, yes, the toys started being marketed for a younger generation, but we still had the collector lines, okay? And like, I think Thrilling 30 came out around then. Thrilling 30, Studio Series started, and that's the thing. Hasbro was smart, and they basically made it so that you had beginner, advanced, and intermediate. I think that's the easy, normal, hard. There you go. With how they did the toys, and they're still doing that. And then you have Masterpiece, and then that's added that's extra hard right there. That's the range of difficulties that Hasbro did this. And like I said, each generation is going to have their own Okay. She got down. Is going to have their own introduction to Transformers. Period. Be it book, be it movie, be it animation, be it game, be it comic. There's always going to be a Transformer fan. The only way we're not going to have Transformers anymore in the US is if Hasbro decides to drop the line. And even then, this is the generation of the internet. All right, generation of cell phones. We're going to import the stuff if we have to. And that's see what I mean? It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, this article, because it's not, there's no facts. This all sounds like a personal opinion. If you're going to do an article, like this is supposed to be a news article, don't put so much of an opinion in there. Get some sources. Show me a website. Show me some graphs. All right. Transformers has a tone problem. The biggest issues with Transformers at the moment is an unbreakable obsession with nostalgia. Oh, this is going to get ugly. But few of the new things being done have much weight to them. Getting younger fans interested is key, but this is kneecapped when the methods used to do so have a low ceiling of potential. Pandering to kids in the least remarkable way will only push them away from something that seems uncool, all the while doing the same to older fans who feel alienated themselves. That's why we have our own... This was seen in the initial trailers and marketing for the 2024 animated movie Transformers 1, which ended up being both a well-received film and a box office flop. The over-the-top humor in the vein of the Marvel Cinematic Universe annoyed older fans and drove them away. It likewise didn't appeal to kids in the same vein as something such as Minions or the Skitty Toilet. Don't get me wrong, the CGI on that, another video. Thus, it was left holding the bag, waiting for any audience to show up, and it ultimately went ignored despite the overall praise. Yeah, you know why it went ignored? Because it was marketed wrong. It was marketed incorrectly. They made it look like a buddy comedy. The trailers made it look funnier than what it was. And it actually had a good amount of seriousness. You know what it felt like to me? It felt like a good old-fashioned, like, 1990s action adventure comedy is what it felt like. You know, you had Lethal Weapon. There you go. It had a good little mix of humor, had good action, like good seriousness, good drama. And I hate to tell you this, that was not meant for a younger generation of toddlers and stuff. My daughter watched it with me, and when we got to the scene where someone went, that scared her. You're watching someone being killed on screen, literally ripped in half. And once again, PG-13 movie. The movie was marketed to ages teen to adult. Now, as everyone knows, now that it's out of theaters, it ended up being streaming, it's a big success. Because people got to see it for what it was. Not just going off a trailer will kill a movie. A trailer will kill a movie easily. If the trailer is done poorly, if the trailer gives too much away, it will kill a movie. I've seen it happen. Let's see. That's not to say that things have to be entirely serious, but making them in the vein of comedic trends that have become old hat in cinema overall is an inarguable marketing disaster. The same goes for cheap kids' toys that will only be able to be sold to the 5 and under crowd. Once again, at this point, the best route for the franchise and its prevailing merchandise would be to target a much more reliable target audience, pre-adolescent and teens. They're doing that. We have the comics. We have movies. And there is animated media for the people to watch. After the Transformers Cyberworld series concludes what may end up being a brief run, the next iteration of the franchise should try appealing to an audience that can't get enough action-oriented shonen anime. The sweet spot should be making something that younger teens love that also still appropriate enough where their younger siblings can watch along. Transformers can't survive on an aging generation of classic fans forever, but it will also fail to grow if the younger audience it goes after ignores it completely. You can bite me on that one. You can seriously bite me on that one, in all honesty, because I am sorry. It's that aging generation who has kept the series alive. And it's us passing it down to our children has kept it alive. And I think it's where it rubbed me the wrong way right there. I mean, seriously. Transformers can't survive on an aging generation of classic fans forever. It lasted this long. Didn't we just have our 40th anniversary? 40 years, dude. 40 years. It never needs to be a brand associated with the pre-K crowd. Really? I rather introduce them at a young age and have them start using their hands. You know, that helps build motor skills, buddy. And being more malleable while still having a sort of go-to tone can help it maintain the same consistency as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which had both child-friendly and adult-oriented content across the boards. For now, the only thing that's really moving the needle would be the exact opposite and the more watered-down fare being sold for Transformers Cyberworld. So a better balance act needs to be maintained for the property that is now over 4 decades. Did they write this weird? Was this written by AI? I don't have a hard time reading this. I read a lot, and I just had a hard time reading this. But yeah, I think that's where it rubbed me the wrong way, is that last bit of the article. Because bottom line, sorry if you guys are hearing like a little noise in the background. Sisu's playing for a toy, so I'm not going to stop a cat from playing. Just a lot of things in life in this day and age has come from older generations and has survived from the love of that older generation giving it to the next generation, the younger generation. And that's how Hasbro and companies like this will survive. That's why Hasbro has such a big fan base, is that Transformers has survived decades through their medias of choice. And you know, I have nothing against the writer. The writer is a young gentleman. I'll put a link to the ad, and it will have his information. First of all, don't go harass him. Don't be a jerk. All right, people are allowed to speak their minds, freedom of speech. And like I said, the only reason I have an issue with this is a couple of the comments and the fact that we don't really have any facts for this to go off of. But don't go picking a fight. All right, because this person is a young Transformers fan. Not young. They're probably in their late 20s, early 30s. And you go read their profile. They're an anime fan. They're a Transformer fan. And good to them. You know, good to you. And good to you about putting your opinion out there. I will give you that. I have the right to disagree with your opinion. And I don't know, a couple other people might as well. Let's see what the comments say. Let's see. They need to bring in new fans for the future. They keep relying on us nostalgia collectors to carry on the company forever. No matter how many parents show their kids the old stuff, those children don't have any connections to it. Oh boy. That said, the major problem I have is the hit and run nature of today's cartoons. You do maybe a season, and that may even just be made up of 15 minutes episodes. And you're somehow supposed to be asked for a connection to the characters and a storyline that you don't even have room to even live in. That's bad. Both for the brand that do it and the toy line they hope to sell, then reproduce 20 plus years later. Alright, I like this one. I enjoyed Transformers 1. Bottom line, I'm going to say with this first comment. Bottom line. This is being marketed to a younger generation who has a short attention span that aren't going to care about the depth of the characters or the story. They're going to care about how cool the character is. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Do they need to make media for adults or now cartoon for adults? Guess what? They've been doing it. They've been doing it. Let's see. I love Transformers Prime 2, but what you want to know, why Hasbro canceled it and transitioned to a lighter in-tone Robots in Disguise with its simpler toys? Because kids weren't watching it. Yeah, it was a hit with the older crowd, but not so much with the kids. Only one needs to look at Rescue Bots and to see what a huge hit that show and toys were with the kids to think that maybe Hasbro knows what they're doing. Thank you. Hasbro knows what they're doing. If it ain't working, they're going to stop it. They're just going to done. And if you go like here for me in Oregon, we have Fred Meyer's, we have Target. They still sell Rescue Bots. Oh, wait, looks like, no, okay. You're right, I've been watching the later Gen 1 Japanese Transformers lately, and that could totally work today. It's very shonen, and the art is very Gundam. Yes, but do you know why it's Gundam? Because any of us that watch anime, any of us that seen Japanese media, they love their robots. They love their mechs. They love their magical girls. But alright, they had a reply to that one. Right, but that only really appeals to an older demo that they want to cultivate. I'm turning 40 this year. This older demographic comments are really irking me. Oh, hey, wait, I like this one by Daniel. Why can't we have both? Why wouldn't they want to keep the attention of a younger audience as a fan since the original series? I can appreciate the simpler toys. My kid and I love playing with the Earthspark toys. Thank you. We can't have imaginative play with an Optimus that takes 45 steps, but a bot that takes 3 to 5 is a great step up from a rescue bot that took only 1. I remember the simplicity and joy I had with my originals in the 80s that is missing from the super detailed figures. Sure, I love the detail of the adult Transformers. They sit on my shelf in my office, and I don't get played with. Sorry, I need some water. Let's see. I feel like they've tried and missed with that approach, but instead of tightening up what does work, they scrap it and go the safe route. Let's be honest. When you run a company, you want to take the safe route, especially if you're needing to make sure the brand stays alive and to build up equity so that you can go ahead and dare to tread new grounds. Like, pretty much, if you don't have the equity to try something new, are you going to try it? No. You're going to take what you have with your current equity, use what you got to increase that equity, and then it reaches a point, then you're going to take the chance to do something new. It's common business sense. Let's see. I enjoy that there are different levels. I'm looking forward to the Age of Prime merchandise, hoping that younger individuals will enjoy Cyberverse. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Good job. Let's see. CBR. Yeah. Ooh. Here, hold on. Frog in my throat. I'm not used to talking this much. CBR. You do not know what you are talking about. Complain about toys being too simple or targeting too young an audience after you have learned to fully appreciate what Rescue Bots has done for the brand. Stop turning the stupidest social media comments about a brand launch into an article. Binge Rescue Bots, play with the toys, interview some elementary schoolers, do actual journalism. Otherwise, be quiet. This is what happens when you do an article straight on opinion. On your own personal opinion. If you're going to do an article like this, you need the facts. You need to list your sources, or you need to say, hey, I went and talked to this many people, and they said this. Okay, what we got? Okay, this is a reply to that one. Yes, but that requires actual work. They would rather have a proactive article and have us argue in the comments to get their clicks. True. Hey, I'm making a video for content. I'm making too long of a video, but hey. This is so much. My son, who is turning 14, loved Rescue Bots. He got all those of all the main characters, and he still has them. I actually, before my daughter was born, we didn't know we were going to have a boy or girl. Me, being a man, had hoped for a boy. Am I sad that I got a girl? Not at all. Because that's my child and I love her. And she plays with whatever what she wants to play with. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Before my wife even got pregnant, I started picking up Rescue Bots just to have. I even started picking up Switch and Goes, the original Switch and Goes. I picked those up too. And that's the thing. You don't know what your kid's going to like. And you know me, being a Transformer fan, maybe I want to play with them. Maybe I want to have them. I mean, heck, I have a Gorilla Bot from the GoBot line that I'm going to customize into Power Punch Optimus Primal from Beast Machines. Another video. He was super excited when I showed him the new Legacy Chase figure a couple years ago, and loves it too. I've already pre-ordered him the new Heat Wave to go with it. He loved the simple transformation when he was little, and he's grown up. He's gotten into more complex ones. It's almost like Hasbro knows what they're doing, right? Thank you. Thank you, Shockwave. Thank you. That is what I've been saying throughout this video. Right there. And Hasbro knows it. That's why they took Chase. That's why they... Heatwave? Heatwave. there's a reason I get my fire engine transformers mixed up. But that's a prime example right there. And Hasbro knows it. They know they got fans with rescue bots, and they're like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make them now in the next difficulty level of figures, the next line of collectibles. And that's what Hasbro did. Thank you, Shockwave. That is what I'm saying. You don't see me put a comment on there because you know what? This is my comment. If I could link my video in here, I would. I might. But hey, that's all I got for right now. I'm sorry I prattled on. I will cut this video down shorter. I actually should go on Twitch next time or something. Maybe I'll go on TikTok next time. But yeah, no. I mean, like I said, this gentleman's a young Transformer fan. He's a young anime Transformer fan. He's entitled to his opinion. Do not go beat him up. Alright? Don't. You want to know why? Because he's entitled to his opinion too. And us as people need to respect each other's opinions, even if we don't agree with them. That's what I'm going to say. Anytime I read an article like this, I'm going to say that every time. Don't go pick on the person. Put your stuff in the comments. Let them read them. Let them figure it out. But don't be a jerk. Don't go here and be a jerk. Be respectful. Like in my comment section, be respectful. On X, be respectful. But that's all I got for right now. I'll cut the video down shorter if I can. Hell, I might just leave it in one piece. Let you guys enjoy it, especially with me getting tongue-tied on their writing. But hey, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like I said, all the stuff I talked about in this video, I will link down below in the description. Okay? Come back often. Come see me. Come find me on X. I'll put my link down for X down below. Appreciate everyone that's sticking with me. I know I haven't done any reviews as of late. Have had some issues going on. We'll talk about that some other time. Maybe if we have like a Q&A. You know, if we reach like 100 subscribers, we're pretty close. I think. I don't know. I have my channels mixed up because I know Tombs of Media is at like 40. This Raiders Tour reviews are getting some good subscribers. TikTok, freaking, I'm at like 400 and something, and I don't promote my videos. So that's pretty cool. And I'm yammering on again, guys. I'm sorry, guys and gals. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you watched the whole video, I appreciate it. I really do. If you guys like this kind of content, I'll do more of them. I don't mind. I got no one to really talk to. I got my wife and my daughter. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Raider out.